We're back in Call of the Wild today and heading out here on Mississippi Acres for basically two reasons. Number one, I still want to get one more rare gold gator for our trophy lodge, and also, they have 100% fixed the quail. In the past, you could only get female quail as a diamond, even when the males were the ones that got to level 3. That has since changed, and I'm looking forward to kind of going after them and seeing what we can get for those as well. Now, of course, those two species won't be the only ones that we're going after. Anything that we can get the opportunity at today, we will most certainly try to get. And while we do have a fair number of decent wild hogs and feral pigs from Tararoa and Mississippi, I still would like to get some of the diamonds with these newer fur types. They were redone maybe with this map or maybe even a little bit after that. And the ones we have in the trophy lodge have shifted from the old ones to the new ones, but it's always cool to get to see them in the harvest screen and stuff like that. But this was the brown hybrid variation, so not going to be one that we haven't seen, but I do like it a lot better now. I think there are two different variants of the brown hybrid. One that has like white fur up by the nose, and one that's more like this without any of that whitish coloration, but we are also in multiplayer, and the reason really comes down to that just unknown factor when it comes to multiplayer. We have been on our single player Mississippi map, and I've referenced it in darn near every video lately, but once we get into hunting season, I don't really have as much time to play the game off camera, and that's where multiplayer really comes in. It's completely unknown, and maybe there's something good out here waiting on us. Now in the meantime, maybe a bit of an opportunity to practice here. I'm still not very good at hitting the neck on these things, but that's what I want to attempt anyway. However, well, was it a neck shot? Because I don't think the second shot would have been hard. That's the thing about them. They're so tough. I could 100% see that being a neck shot and it not being an insta-kill. And you kind of have to go for that follow-up because when they start to move, you have that tiny window where they kind of roar, and then once they take off, it's really tough to get a halfway decent shot in there. So I'm not really sure what happened, but regardless, I guess that's decent practice. I mean, there's vital blood behind him, so maybe it was. Yeah, the second shot never even impacted. He was dead by the time that bullet got there. Maybe a touch high. I aimed a little high because we were a decent amount beyond the 150 meter zero distance, but that went pretty well. And again, to kind of explain what I'm trying to do at least, is to line up the shot with this basically part of the jaw. It almost is like an arrow that points to the neck bone, but you have to be far enough back. You shoot right in here, there's no neck bone there. You got to get a little further back because it kind of bends up to go up to the brain. But I don't know, I like them in the new harvest screen. I guess we would have seen them last time. I didn't really notice it. They look quite good. Although, I think the first thing we shot was that albino and it was just pure chaos, so that's probably why. So now it looks like we'll get an opportunity at some quail. And I brought the 12 gauge over-under for good luck. We'll see if they'll actually flush for us. Now, one thing that I probably didn't consider bringing the 12 gauge is that typically there's going to be way more than 2. So picking the right one to shoot might be tough. Finally, this one's going to take off. That was a level 1, so I tried to find another. Don't know if that really mattered. Got that one for sure. Can we get one more shot in there? And I just want to look at the scoring real quick. A 181 scoring male, which is basically right on par with the weight of 0.18, and the diamond requirement is very different now at 238. It used to be, I think, 260, and males are scored by their weight, so you could never get above basically 250, which that is plenty to get you a diamond. Now there was a 218, not half bad. I like the red brown a lot. I'd love a diamond red brown, but 20 below diamond there, it just feels so much more achievable with that number. And I actually don't know if females can still make diamond. Maybe they have changed how they were scored because it was a combination of something, weight and something, because they didn't weigh nearly as much as the males, but they would score in that 260, 270 range. So I really don't know, but that will be interesting to find out as well. I can say I haven't seen a female diamond quail posted, but they were incredibly rare back then. Even getting a 240 was tough, so it's hard to say. This spot doesn't seem half bad, at least early in the morning, we've got fox, we've got whitetail, bear out here just feeding. There was one buck I thought that was decent. There's a doe laying there. I think it was this one up to 227. And since we have the 303, maybe we can just go for the bear and the buck. I've almost, for whatever reason, never shot male bears on this map. It's like we only ever encounter female bears, so just to have that opportunity, we can take that. The buck dropped, and I can't see the bear, but I don't know, when they're running between the rows, would they be visible? I really don't think he went far at all. We double lunged him. Not half bad from the 303 at 164 meters. And then the buck should be laying just up here ahead of us somewhere. There are just a ton of deer taken off through here. By the way, to show where we are on the map, just kind of this skinny field heading over towards the Gator Lakes. Evidently a really good spot to check out. I never go this way. Like if I want to go and check on whatever's around here, naturally I'll spawn at one of these two lodges, but from now on I might be spawning here and checking out what's in the fields first. You know, anymore, since the raccoons have changed, we almost never get to take any out. They used to be class 1, so if they would sort of run in front of us, we could hit them with the bird shot that we always have in our shotgun for quail and turkeys on this map. But between that and the fact that I'm pretty sure they did something, they flee faster, you don't really end up with that situation that I just described where they would run right in front of you. They kind of just, seemingly when they're there, they flee and get into places where you can't see them, and they are so low to the ground. Whether it's in the fields or in the brush in the trees, they just kind of stay out of sight. But I want to say this is the first time we've gotten one since the harvest screen change. It looks quite nice in there. Pretty cool to see that. Almost looks like a piebald with some of the white up to there, but it is just a common brown. It just feels like we're casually going through all the species on this map. We may end up getting one of everything by the end, maybe outside of rabbits. Just depends on if we spot one or not. This time at least, maybe one that could get to gold. Gold is 10, or at least it used to be. That was the other thing that happened with the update that had the harvest screen. It kind of just slightly changed a bunch of the gold requirements and some diamond requirements as well. So I guess it's possible that's no longer the case, but I assume it's right in that area. I want to say same fur type again, and did they change it? Or maybe gold was always 9. Now I'm not really sure. I think probably it would have always been 9 and I was just thinking it was 10. Either way, nice to get a gold one as we're going up through here. I'm wanting to kind of follow the river and see if we can find some more gators. That was the way that we found the albino at the beginning of the last hunt that we did out here. Not in one of the kind of typical hotspots over in here or along the river. It was, I think, right down here. Just at a spot that I'd otherwise never checked, so I want to sort of take the same approach. Well, ironically, that idea has led us to some whitetail, and probably the biggest issue here is there's no gators around to even spook the deer off, so maybe this area is not as good as I thought. Now, the original plan of trying to go to areas that we wouldn't otherwise go to ultimately produced nothing and led us up here to what I would have, at least in the past, considered a gator hotspot. I do think with the resets and redistributions, gators kind of got moved around as well. But, I kind of thought there'd be some here. It was pretty surprising to see the whitetail just stand there calm. But regardless, gators or not, we did just get our best whitetail of the hunt, a 235. Not too bad, right along at 350 meters. And we'll see if we can somehow clutch a gator here before we wrap up. I mean, this is one way to do it, although not the preferred way. Got one just running out here in front of us. I see a vital blood, I believe. Is that going to get him down in time? So we have the hollow point bullets, I think they're called, for the 454. It's far better damage to the organs you hit, but less penetration. I kind of think you might get away even despite the lung shot. The first shot, I think it was, wasn't good enough. Unless this water's just not deep. What the heck? That was kind of terrifying. I assume he's just gonna die there. Was he there? Or did he re-emerge from the water? I didn't really like that. The first shot was actually the good one. The second shot was just a touch low and back. Kinda hope that doesn't happen again, but at least we got another gator. I think what we're going to do is go up and around to here. There's a boat somewhere in this area. We can get it back across this side, because over in here is usually a good spot. And we'll see if we can get one that doesn't try to jump scare us. I mean, they just keep on showing up down here. Maybe this is what we should have been doing all along. That is the best gator we've seen. Pretty sure that missed. That at least hit him. And that dropped him. So what happened there was we hit the spinal cord, I think. I'm not 100% sure we're even going to get the gold, but the other thing was it sounded like there were more back there behind. So before we claim, we'll at least go ahead and start the reloading process. We did get double lung the first time, just the very bottom, and then it was the neck shot the second time. I do hear another one coming, but apparently this isn't a half bad way to do it. This should be interesting. Sounds like it's going to run right into the same spot. I really wanted a brain shot there, but no such luck. I don't think either of those shots ended up being a vital hit. We'll just do as much as we can to make sure he goes down then. You know, we never really have a ton of success hunting gators from a distance. It normally ends up being like this. But say in the case of the albino last time, it was a case where we were tracking it, trying to get close, and it just ended up fleeing right back past us. This is just attempting to cover ground and going elsewhere. And for whatever reason, we're just in their path a couple of times now. And we're still not done. There is a level 4 coming out of there too. Finally, I feel like a little more prepared and not completely caught off guard by where it's going. At least we're going to get some, because I was starting to question if we'd get more than the one once we kind of went through there and didn't find anything, but that's 4 now, I think, just up here. And again, I'll show on the map where we are in case you want to check it out. Right kind of in the middle, I guess, of the bend here of this little branch of the river. It's a apparently really good spot. And I mean, there are gators here too. I don't know if we can get the front one. I keep on switching to the 243 side of the 454. That'll be a bit back. Both shots might have been a bit back. So I think in this case, we're going to go ahead and get reloaded and try to maybe get the 5. I didn't realize they're just going to go out to there and over. Kind of forgot they did that, but that one's definitely going to go down. The 6, on the other hand, slowly, but probably not fast enough. Maybe that'll help. I don't know if it is a recent thing or if I've just never noticed it, but the hisses the gators make as they're fleeing, it doesn't seem like you can tell where they are directionally. It kind of is just, every time I hear it, it seems to be off to the left somewhere, regardless of where the gator's at. Because I kind of thought there was another one, but seems it was just the 2. At least we got the 5. Kind of think the 6 got away, but no big deal there, really. And regardless of the fact, as I think he is... Now that's weird. 2 in a row have done that. We have certainly hit him too many times. This isn't exactly going to save anything, but I guess we'll take him too, just to see what happened. But anyway, as much as it was nice last time to have gotten an albino gator, as we hit this guy 4 times and turned what was even still a silver into a bronze, we didn't really learn anything about alligators in that hunt. We just kind of lucked into an albino in a random spot. I feel like today, we actually kind of figured out over through here is a spot we need to check more often, and obviously along the main river is always a good spot. That area was being hunted, so I figured we would try something else, but good to come out here to Mississippi again and have a little fun with the gators, probably the most we've killed in quite some time. And I'm not saying that's super sustainable, just hoping they kind of run right at you, but for today it worked and it got us a bunch of gators down. So anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.